Okay, in this short session I'm going to show you how to end an intervention. Now, ending an intervention is a really simple process, but there are 2 or 3 things that you have to be aware of. So let's take a look at where we would find the link to end an intervention. We click on My Students. We can then click on the specific intervention that we're working with. So I'm going to take a look at reading recovery. And I've set up a student specially for ending an intervention. And it's this Julie Smith right here. She's only had 1 week of lessons. It was way back in January, and I need to end that intervention because she moved away and we never added any more data on her. So I'm going to click her name here and then go to the End Intervention link. Then I can put an end date. Now there's a few things. The reason I needed to set up a special student for this, you can't end an intervention that that is going to happen in the future. Now that may make a lot of sense, but that's one restriction that we place, so that it has to be after the date that you say that the intervention is ended. The second is that you can't end an intervention if the student is still inputting records that go beyond the end of that intervention. So a couple of just important points. Once you are actually finished working with a student or the student has moved away, that's when you need to end the intervention. So I'm going to put in the end date for her. I'm going to say that it was 1/20/2011. She just stopped coming to school. And the student moved before the series of lessons could be completed. What was the action? And none of these actions describe my recommendation because I only saw her for a week. Then I'm going to end my intervention, and it's done. So just a very simple procedure, but make sure that your data is completely up to date before you end the intervention, and make sure that you're ending the intervention following the last week of data that has been entered. So that's all there is really to end an intervention. Make sure that you really mean to end it because you can't reopen it once you've ended it. If you have questions or if that is confusing, go ahead and take another look at what we did. It's difficult for me to reproduce it because now I've ended the intervention on that student. So once you, again, just as a word of warning, once you've ended an intervention, you can't reinstate it. You can start a new intervention with the same student, but you can't reinstate an old one. In the last session, I'm going to be talking about things that you may need extra help with, or if you have questions, or if there are things that are confusing. So that will be the last training session in this initial round of training videos.